We begin the day with a reward of 100,000 euros for information that could lead police to the most wanted man in Europe tonight. German federal investigators are looking for a 24-year-old Tunisian man whose ID was found under the driver's seat of the truck that plowed into a Christmas market here in Berlin on Monday night. Now, how he may or may not be connected with the attack is unclear. What is certain are his many aliases and dubious ties to terrorists. And that's why Germany rejected his asylum request and wanted to deport him earlier this year. Tunisia refused to take him back. One of Germany's regional interior ministers explained why earlier today.
It was not possible to deport this man because he did not have any valid ID papers on him. And the procedures were initiated to repatriate him, but Tunisia initially denied that this person was a citizen of Tunisia. The papers were not provided for a very long time. Today we have received his papers. I won't comment on this in any more detail. This is the only information I can provide you, bearing in mind the fact that we want to protect the investigations.
All right, I'm joined now here at the big table by Michael Böll. He is president of the Berlin branch of the Association of German Investigators. Mr. Böll, it's good to have you back on the show. All right, we heard the red tape, the bureaucracy, that's one explanation for deportations that don't happen. But how does someone, maybe you can explain, how does someone who arrives in Germany seeking asylum with possibly fake ID papers and is under investigation for preparing a possible terrorist attack, I mean, how do they slip through the net?
Well, that's what we try to find out right now. The first question is what happened to the case here in Berlin? It was closed. I don't know why it was closed, probably a lack of evidence. On the other hand, it's like how, what was it, the look we took at him? Is he really dangerous to do an attack or not? And that's the question. It's always, people gather together, experts, and say, okay, he is a high risk, then you have to cover him for 24 hours. We cannot cover all those people for 24 hours. So the question is, what was the information at that point where he was released and he had to appear maybe once or twice a week at a police station? He didn't do that.
And he didn't do that. And he was still able, though, to walk around freely. Is that something that has to change in Germany? Would you like to see the laws for asylum seekers, once they are in the country, tightened?
Actually, no, because the law is, if we have the right to take him in custody or we don't have the right to take him in custody. And that's the right for all the people who are in Germany. So if we say he is a terrorist, then we have to take him in custody. You know, but that has to be approved by a judge, not by the police. And we can't change the law because we're in fear of people that they could do something maybe at a point. And if the evidence is strong enough, then we will take him in custody.
There is the feeling in Germany, though, that the police need more means of patrolling and keeping the peace and maintaining safety. The government has taken swift action. There's going to be more video surveillance across the country, body cams for police officers. Is that what you need to prevent terrorist attacks?
It helps a little bit on this case, but what we actually need is more information of what the terrorists actually do. How do they get in contact? How can we get into the darknet? We need more experts.
Well, that means what? Surveillance of the internet, of phone calls.
Right.
And those laws, as I understand it, the law is being weighted now more for the safety of the public than for the privacy of the individual. That's what you want, right?
That's what it seems like at the moment, because we are always behind the scene. That means like we're behind what they do, is because we have get information from services.
Yeah.
The question is, can we use those informations? And how do we spread the information with the states in Europe? I mean, Europe with the states, other police forces. We need a better networking. We need a better information system. And if somebody comes for asylum here, we cannot transport this information to the police force. You know, there's restrictions on that. The question is, do we really can afford that lack?
Are the laws here, do they need to be changed, which we're seeing happen? Or is this a matter of numbers? You have some lawmakers in Germany who say we've taken in too many people at one time. Is that what we're seeing here? Are you simply overwhelmed by the number of people who need to be documented and who maybe need to be followed by the police?
Definitely. We were not prepared for that. On the other hand, for years, we have been reduced by police officers. We have been reduced in the equipment. And under normal figures, with the organized crime, it was difficult to handle it. Now we have, on top of that, we have the refugees. Now on top of that, we have the terrorism, and we're not prepared. And that has to be changed quickly. And usually, the politics are very, very slow in changes.
Michael Buhr, president of the Berlin branch of the Association of German Investigators. Mr. Buhr, as always, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me in here.
Well, police have asked for the public's help in tracking down the Berlin attack suspect. There's that €100,000 reward. But over the past 24 hours, we've also seen tweets from police urging people not to share unconfirmed information, warning that it could jeopardize the investigation. Now, the Berlin Police Department has been praised for the way it has communicated with the public. But this is a tweet that came up today, and yes, you are seeing correctly. It's a picture of a cat, and with a hashtag meaning "for good reason." Now, this is a trend that began after last year's terror attack in Brussels. Now, to help police there drown out any leaked information that could hurt their investigation, people started flooding their Twitter feeds with pictures of, well, cats, feline friends that some would say have cyber paws.